Month we talked to Nicole Haynes, the executive director of the Rec Center. They have some exciting changes coming up at the Rec. Also, we talked to Steve Skinner from the Miami Valley Veterans Museum. We also talked with Ben Lawhon, the education director from Leave No Trace, and we had a Skype interview with him. And last but not least, Shane Carter, the executive director from the Lincoln Community Center. We got an update from him on what's going on over there. We hope you enjoyed this edition. TV5 was out at the Hug the Earth Festival in May this year through the Miami County Parks District. We met the Leave No Trace volunteers. They were full of good information. We contacted Ben Lawhon, the education director of Leave No Trace, and had a Skype interview with him. Here's what he has to say.
Leave No Trace is a national nonprofit. We're known as the Leave No Trace Center for Outdoor Ethics. We've been in existence since 1994, and our mission is to teach people how to enjoy the outdoors responsibly. We've got over 1.3 billion outdoor visits on state and federal lands each year, and the idea is that we're trying to get people to understand simple ways, simple things that they can do to minimize their recreational impact in these lands that we all share for recreation. Through our network of partners, we have over 450 different partner organizations, colleges, universities, nonprofits, outfitter and guide services, small businesses, and even corporate partners like REI or Keen Footwear, North Face, and others of that sort. We have a program, one of our key programs is the Leave No Trace Subaru Traveling Trainer Program, where we put 3 teams of educators on the road for up to 11 months out of the year, and they travel around the country and provide outreach, education, and training. And the vast majority of what they provide is free, and so we are able to reach tens of thousands of people through our traveling trainer efforts, in addition to our network of partner organizations. And we currently have over 25,000 members, volunteers, and educators around the country that also help to disseminate Leave No Trace information to people that are using the outdoors. The Leave No Trace concept dates back at least about 40 years. With the initial program started out as a slogan-based program, things like pack it in, pack it out, or wilderness manners, no trace camping, minimum impact camping. And the federal land management agencies, who we still are heavily partnered with today, including the National Park Service, the USDA Forest Service, the Bureau of Land Management, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and the Army Corps of Engineers. Some of those agencies, notably the National Park Service and the Bureau of Land Management and the U.S. Forest Service, began to notice significant recreation-related impacts starting in about the 1970s. And what they realized was that it wasn't a result of malicious intent. It's just that people generally didn't know how to deal with their trash and their litter. They didn't know how to properly store their food from wildlife. They didn't know how to deal with their human waste in the outdoors. And so the agencies began to promote this notion of minimum impact. And as we moved into the 1980s, the program started to gain some momentum. And ultimately, the name Leave No Trace was settled upon amongst the agencies as their minimum impact program. In the early 90s, there was an outdoor recreation summit that was held in Washington, D.C., and the outcome of that summit was a recommendation to create a nonprofit entity that could really drive this Leave No Trace program forward on a national level, in concert with the federal land management agencies, as well as state and municipal land management agencies, and a whole host of partner organizations. So in 1994, we were created as a 501c3 nonprofit. We're still a nonprofit today. We're largely funded through private donations, grants, our individual members, material merchandise sales, and those sorts of things. And we were, just by the way that we were formed and the parties that were involved back in the early 90s, we landed here in Boulder, Colorado, and we've been here ever since. And that said, we have a large network across the country where we're working with land managers and individuals, different types of organized groups, schools, and a whole variety of partners to disseminate this Leave No Trace information nationally. So Despite the fact that we're based in the West, our information is appropriate anywhere you go, not only in the U.S., but it's appropriate virtually anywhere in the world. Leave No Trace is a program that's based on skills and ethics. And so the skill piece, those are things that we teach people in terms of how do you store your food properly to keep animals out of your food? How do you hang a bear bag? Or how do you select a good, durable tent site? Or how do you respect wildlife? How do you minimize campfire impacts? So there are a number of different skill pieces that we actually teach folks. In addition to that, we have the ethical component of Leave No Trace, which is really sort of the idea of what you do when nobody's watching. It's the decisions that you make in the outdoors when you're the only decision maker. Because what we're really talking about with these impacts are individual impacts that are cumulative over time. So it's not the one time that someone, for example, washes their dishes with soap in a stream. It's when that occurs over and over and over, and we have a cumulative effect on these places that we all share and places that we all enjoy. And so one of our educational pieces are the Leave No Trace ethics cards, and we have several different versions of these ethics cards, everything from ethics cards for river corridors, for geocaching, for cultural heritage sites, angling, winter use such as snow-based activities, skiing, snowshoeing, those sorts of things. And so these are widely distributed around the country. People like to hang on to them. It's got good Leave No Trace information on there in a very succinct format. And that's just one of many educational products that we offer. But certainly the ethics cards are an easy reminder, something that can be attached to a backpack and carried with you wherever you go, so you always know how to leave no trace if you've got that with you. One of the aspects of the Leave No Trace program is there's 7 principles of Leave No Trace, and the third principle is dispose of waste properly. And one of the things that folks are not as familiar with oftentimes is how long certain items can last. An example is many people, and rightfully so, consider things like apple cores or banana peels or orange peels biodegradable, and they certainly are. But what's surprising is that those items, depending on the environment that you're in, can last up to a year. And most people would never think that a banana peel could last for a year. But the issue lies in the fact that those food items that are generally considered human foods can be an attractant to wildlife, which can draw wildlife close to humans. It can allow wildlife to congregate in unnatural numbers. It can even draw wildlife to roadsides where they can be injured, harmed, or even, unfortunately, killed by automobiles. So that's just one example. Another example would be plastic soda bottles, the number 2 recyclable bottles. And depending on which numbers you're looking at, because clearly there's some factors that lead to decomposition, things like the amount of sunlight, the amount of moisture, your altitude, the slope, the aspect. There's a number of factors, but nonetheless, those bottles can last anywhere from 10 to 20 years if left in the environment. Another common item is think about the Vibram sole on your hiking boot. Those thick, hard rubber soles can last over 50 years. Other items that can last long periods of time, even things like toilet paper, for example, in the outdoors, can last up to 6 months before it decomposes. Most people think of it as a very light material that may not last very long, but there are a number of items that we have that tend to stick around for a long time. Even things like aluminum cans. You may see estimates as high as 100 plus years to take for an aluminum can to fully biodegrade. And then when you start looking at things like monofilament fishing line, for example, there are estimates that suggest that monofilament fishing line can last for over 500 years. Again, keep in mind that there are a number of factors that contribute to decomposition rates in the environment, but the take-home point is that most things that we would consider trash or litter, specifically things like cigarette butts, for example, that seem small at the time, those items definitely have a cumulative effect on the environment, and they can last a very long time. And that's why we recommend that anything that we take in the out of doors with us, we need to take it back out. Even those biodegradable items like apple cores or peels, or even things like coffee grounds. When people are camping, oftentimes we get questions about people say, can we just throw these coffee grounds out into the woods? They seem natural. And I guess my response to that is, well, think about it. Would those coffee grounds be here if you weren't here? Or would that apple core or what have you? So again, the take-home message is think about the impacts that we're leaving behind when we leave a place, and let's do our best to pack everything out that we've packed in. We'd love to encourage folks to join as members, individual members, or if organizations are interested in becoming a community partner of Leave No Trace, you can certainly visit our website. It's lnt.org, lnt.org. And there's lots of good free information on the website. There are numerous resources that you can obtain directly from the website. You can also see materials and merchandise that we have, T-shirts, hats, water bottles, and the like, as well as our different Leave No Trace publications. And so feel free to visit the website. We encourage everyone that spends any amount of time in the outdoors to do something, even if it's something small, to minimize that individual and cumulative impact over time. I'd like to say one more thing about Leave No Trace. Leave No Trace is not rules, it's not regulations, it's not black, it's not white. It's a framework for making good decisions about enjoying the outdoors responsibly. It's a program that intends to connect people with nature and help them understand how they can leave places as good or better than they found it.
Hi, we're here with Nicole Haynes at the Rec Center. So, hi, Nicole.
Hi, Kelly. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Hey, tell us how long you've been here at the Rec Center, because I know it's not been that long, and tell us what you do here.
Okay. Yeah, it's a relatively new position. I've been here for 18 months now. I came in as interim director in May of 2012, and then I became the executive director in August of 2012. My job here at the Rec is to pretty much oversee everything that goes on inside this building. I handle the finances, the payroll, all of the event planning, and then I help coordinate the activities for the 6th through 12th grade students, and as well as provide the supervision for them in the after-school hours.
Okay. Tell us about, I heard there's lots of renovations going on here, so please tell us what's going on here.
Yeah. This building has been here for over 70 years doing this exact same thing. It's been a community place with the emphasis on youth, providing a place for them to do after-school recreational activities and kind of a hangout spot. With kids in 70 years, the building's definitely starting to show some wear. No renovations have been done here in over 40 years. So right now we are in the midst of trying to secure some grant funding in order to fund this overall project. The overall project is going to look at renovating everything from ceilings, wall coverings, carpet, contents, updated bathrooms, security throughout the building, video monitoring, and some controlling of door access on our daycare side. We're also looking at expanding the space of our gym and opening it up to accommodate more activities at the same time. And then we're also looking at expanding our kitchen area for rentals to offer it more of a catering, so someone can actually come in and cater or prepare their own things right here in the facility rather than having to bring everything in themselves.
You do rent out the facility for birthday parties and such. Tell us about that.
Okay, yep, you name it. If you've got something that you want to do, then we've got space for you to do it. A lot of birthday parties. We do church groups meet in here often. We've set up tables and chairs for dinners, meetings. We've had family Thanksgivings and reunions. So you name it, we can kind of offer our space to you for anything that you need. It's $35 an hour is the current rental rate. That rate gives you access to anywhere in the building that you would like, with the exception of our daycare side. You can use our downstairs game room with the pool tables and video games and that stuff. We've got gym access, and we also have a full wooden floor dance floor upstairs that's very popular with dance lights and the DJ booth and that kind of thing, so people can kind of have more of a dance feel to it if they'd like to also.
Well, tell us about the front overhaul that the Rec got this summer. I noticed that it changed colors.
Yes,
so.
yes, it did. I guess the first change is in order to attract and to appeal to a new population, we wanted to make some changes that were going to hit people even if all they were doing is driving by. So we totally changed the color scheme of the building. We went from a light color to a dark color. The awning that was originally on the building was very ratted. It was torn. The weather had taken toll on it. So we had a new awning put on the front of the building, something sharp. We had a new logo designed to kind of put that on there and give the Rec a new brand and a new face, so that people know we're still here and we're revitalizing what's going on.
Okay, very cool. Now you have is it preschool program going on? So tell us about that.
Okay, yep. For the younger population, now we offer preschool services for 3- and 4-year-olds. It's a 2-day-a-week program. This year we will have 2 classes versus the 1 class that we had last year. It's a very low-cost, affordable rate of $25 a week. Program runs in the mornings from 9 to 11:30. We also do a before and after school program for students K through 5. It runs in the mornings before school from 7:15 to 8:45 at $30. It runs in the afternoons from 3:30 to 6 at $40 a week, and then a combined rate for before and after school is $60 a week per child.
Okay. I know you give some like exercise classes and dance classes
yes.
here, so tell us about those too.
Yeah, we also have programming for the adult population. We offer Zumba classes on Mondays and Wednesdays from 6 to 7. Ballroom dancing and line dancing classes go on throughout the week as well.
Okay, well, tell us if you wanted to have your kid come somewhere after school or before school. Tell us where a website and phone number, and tell us about that.
Yeah, our website is www.troyrec.com. All the forms, applications, and information that you need for any of our programs can be found online. For the programs for the older students in 6th through 12th grade, you can stop in any time, pick up student agreement forms, check out the facility, and get your kids in.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, we look forward to seeing some of the changes coming up for the rec, but also see what happens in the fall.
Yes, we'd love to have you back.
All right, well, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Kelly. Thanks again to TV5. My name is Shane Carter, the Executive Director at Lincoln Community Center. We're once again back to kind of give an informational on all the programs and events that we offer here at the Lincoln Community Center. Right now, we're currently preparing for the school year for our kids. We have a back-to-school bash that is planned for here on this Sunday, coming up 2 Sundays, August 17th. And on that day, we provide all the school supplies and materials that each kid in the Troy City Schools District may need. How that works is if you come into the Lincoln Community Center office and just register your child, we'll provide all those with a backpack on that day. On August the 17th, that's from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Also, moving forward, when school starts on August the 21st, we have our after-school tutoring program that's offered for kids from grades K all the way up to 12. We have 2 very good educational coordinators that work with our children, as well as some volunteers and some retired teachers from here within the Troy City School District. We're also getting ready for well, actually what it is, a football camp, but a football day for our youth here at the Lincoln Center. And that's actually coming up here on this Sunday as well. We have an abundance of athletes that come back and help and give back to the community. We want to thank the filling station here in Troy for their support of that event. It'll be our 3rd annual football day, and it'll really be a lot of fun with the kids to work on some fundamentals and techniques. Moving forward, we're really excited about our community garden that we have in rear of the building. This is our 2nd year for our community garden, and we're growing tomatoes, green beans, peppers, as well as some cabbage and some lettuce. Our children are selling some of the vegetables down at the farmers market down in the city of Troy Square on Cherry Street on Saturdays, and that goes on from 9 to noon. So please come down and check out some of our goods. A lot of our kids have worked really hard with that program. This summer is our 1st year of having the Troy Summer Lunch Program here, and we're very, very thankful not only for the people that have supported that program, but for Ruth Scott and allowing the Lincoln Center to be another site for this year. We're averaging between 40 and 50 kids each day, and our kids are very thankful for this lunch program. I want to thank my staff, Nicole Burton and Julio Herrera, who have put a lot of time and effort into helping this go through, as well as Emerson Winfield and Jeremy Hughes. They've all done a great job with our youth and with our activities that were going on here. Today we have a program going on that's really been a neat thing for the kids. It's called CrossFit Kids, and that's put on through Practice CrossFit and CrossFit of Troy through Mike Lyons and not only Mike, but Josh Bunch and his Practice CrossFit group. But we've been very, very thankful for a lot of the people, instructors, Mindy Kobe and Chastity. They've done a great job with our kids, and it's allowed our kids to not only work out physically, but mentally kind of to have an outlet where they can, release some stress and maybe some issues that they're dealing with. We're excited about the future of that as far as CrossFit Kids here at the Lincoln Center. My goal would be to be able to offer that program year-round for our children, if at all possible, trying to make it free of charge so that our youth will be able to remove that financial barrier of participating. So we want to thank CrossFit for all their support in making this possible. I think that our kids really are not only taking the program in well, but they're excited about continuing to do it. Speaking of the Lincoln Center, I must speak on basketball, and we're excited not only for our youth league that's ending up now, our summer basketball league, but we'll also have a fall league for our kids here in the Troy area and the surrounding schools. I really feel like our youth program is growing. We've been able to reach out to a lot of different kids in a lot of different districts and really teaching kids the fundamentals of basketball and trying to build up some young, strong athletes. Also, moving into the fall, we have a lot of things going on with our Girl Power group. Nicole Burton, my assistant, she heads that up and does a great job with the ladies. They take a lot of trips and work on a lot of different projects and community outreach events. So we're excited about what they have planned here for the fall and moving into the winter. And as always, we'll have our open house in December. We're looking at the third week around probably, I'm sorry, the second week of December, probably a week before Christmas, and bringing in a guest speaker and having an open house for the community. I would challenge everybody, please, to go to our website, which stays updated. It's www.lcctroy.com. As well as if you have an opportunity, check out our page on Facebook. We try to keep those things updated. Our programs are always changing, and as the school year continues to progress, we'll have some different trips and events that we offer for the children. I must talk and say the importance of this year, the school year, will be education and following through with our children. We're really excited with the grant for the Troy Foundation. We have an after-school program that caters to approximately about 30 kids, and last year the report cards came back very good. We had a lot of A's and B's from our children, and I'm very excited about their future and hoping that we can be able to allow them to pursue college. Also, we have a scholarship we just gave away to Curtis Johnson, who is going to the University of Kentucky, and we're very excited for Curtis. So that's it for this time, and thank you to TV5. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Shane. Up next, Steve Skinner with the Miami Valley Veterans Museum. See what changes they have going on there.
The Miami Valley Veterans Museum is dedicated to preserving the legacy of all those who served in our armed forces, whether it be peacetime or whether they be veterans of any of our conflicts that we have, just to preserve their legacy, to tell the story of how our freedoms were won, who won our freedoms, and how our freedoms are preserved today as our basic mission statement. Not only do we preserve the legacy and the memories of all of these veterans, we also preserve their uniforms we display, but we also, like the first Wednesday of every month, we have coffee donuts for veterans. But we do invite anybody who wants to come up and meet a veteran, free to do so. We have our regular veterans that come up, and we also call this kind of a healing museum. Many times I've been here, and a veteran comes up, either World War II, Vietnam, whatever, and they will start to tell about some of their experiences. And some of these guys haven't told these experiences either ever or maybe years. So it's a healing museum also for a lot of these veterans. So we love people to come to take a tour. What you're going to see is the beginning, the founding of our country from the Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, up until our modern warfare. We have an artifact from the World Trade Centers. We have some very knowledgeable people, docents, who will give tours. You ask any question that you want, and for the most part, they can answer that question. But you're going to learn, hopefully in an interesting way, the history of our country, how it was founded, and maybe who founded it. We have various fundraisers. We have quarter auctions. We have people who write grants for us. We wouldn't be in these rooms right now had it not been for a grant writer to refurnish these rooms. A lot of our office equipment, a lot of the things that we need, our display mannequins, is all done by grant money and private donations. When you come up, you'll see a little collection box. We do not charge admission to come to this museum. We regard this museum as the people's museum. But if you come up and you do happen to see a donation box, we appreciate it, because we are a 501c3, so we are a tax exempt museum. We are in partnership with the 4th of July parade, and we always have a presence in the 4th of July parade and any other parade that we can come to. We do have a presence in there. Again, in the 4th of July parade, we usually have a veteran that's a grand marshal for us. This year it was a disabled American veteran. We try to change out our exhibits. Remodeling wise, we're supposed to, and I think we're going to get it. There's another big room that we can get. We're going to move our library down there, and I say this, but you come up and you say, "Where's this room at?" It's because, well, we decided maybe to change some things around. But in this room, we think the bulk of our World War II collection will go down there, because the majority of what we're getting now comes from World War II. Those veterans are now up in their 90s, and we're getting 2 and 3 generations from those guys, and we're getting these questions. I got grandfather's or great-grandfather's uniform. So that room will be remodeled, and it will probably be open to World War II collection. We're at 107 West Main Street. We're in the Lodge building. There's a furniture store on the first floor. We're second floor in the Mason Lodge building. It's a big red building. We're right in between the Mayflower Theater and the courthouse. And there's ample parking on the side, so just come up and visit us. Our hours right now, they'll probably change back, but we're up here from Wednesday from 9 until 1 because of the summer. We don't have air conditioning up here, and then Saturday from 8 till noon. But if you call us here at the museum, we set up a lot of private tours, a lot of school children, a lot of organizations come up, and we'll definitely give you a, even if you're a private citizen and you can only come up a certain time, get in touch with us, and we will definitely set you up a tour. They shall not be forgotten.org is our website. You can go on there. You can get about all the information that I've given you. And then you can also ask us questions. We get also on that website, sometimes somebody will ask us, are we interested in a particular donation? So please visit us. You can bring it up here when any of our staff is here, and we have what we call a deed of gift. We'll fill out a deed of gift. You sign it, and it becomes our property. And when that happens, I assure everybody, I don't care if it's as small as a can opener, there's a story behind that can opener, up unless somebody wants to bring in a Sherman tank. There's a story there to be told. We do not sell, we do not trade these items. If you bring an article up to us, it stays here. You may not see it right away in our displays, but be assured it will be displayed and we will tell the story. If you come up to the museum and you see some things that you want to suggest, oh, please give me the suggestions.
Is there anything you need that maybe someone could provide to you? Anything offhand that...
Well, obviously, anything connected, you don't have to be a veteran. If you were in a service, we'll take it. But office supplies, things like that, we're always, you use, believe it or not, you use a lot of paper clips and staples and things like that. So if anybody had anything like that, paper for our copiers, again, we're a 501c3. We depend on donations from the public to keep this museum going. But if you have something, anything, display cases, anything, just contact us and we'll tell you if we can use it or not, and we appreciate your interest.
That's this edition for Around Troy. If you have show ideas you would like to see us do, please contact me at Kelly, K-E-L-L-E, at troy5.com, or contact us through our website, www.troy5.com. Thank you, and see you next time.